Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those of you in between, it is I, your host and Dungeon Master, Cranio Dad, coming back at you with another issue of Misfortune's Glory does something very similar to Ghost of Saltmarsh, but things have changed. When we last saw our adventurers, it's been a lot. Yeah, long and short of it is, well, they traversed a plane. They recovered somebody who's been missing for a while. Then they traversed yet another plane and found out that Tiamat's on her way back because I'm an asshole, and that's what I'm going to do. So, anyway, on the other side of the intro, we'll introduce you guys to the characters, and then we are going to be working through some retainers tonight because death is a thing that may be happening. See you on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for hanging out through the intro. Let's go ahead and go around the horn and introduce yourselves, starting with Calder.
I am the Nerdy Viking. I'm playing Calder Svensson, the human Eldritch Knight fighter of the group. I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into this swing of playing some D&D with everybody.
Nice. Deluge?
Hey everybody, Shannon Logic across all the internet. I'm playing Deluge. She makes good choices. She's a bard. You know, the gist.
That's fair. Oddity?
Hi, I am Ms. Misery, and I am playing Oddity Price, the Tempest Sorcerer.
Nice. Rogelio?
Hi, I'm Rogelio. I've been in this game before, and I'm back again. I don't know what's happening. I'm excited to find out.
And Circes?
Nothing's happening. Everything is fine. Yes. I am Wily Hobbit, and I'm playing the bronze dragonborn paladin of Lathander named Circes Bronzemist.
And while we were on intro, I did see that Chancellor did give us another sub, or resub. Thank you so much for the 8 months, brother. I also want to let the audience know that subs and bits help give you guys Dissonant Whispers, which will carry over in perpetuity until they run out. So you guys are now sitting at 3 Dissonant Whispers. For those of you following along at home, that is the way that players can gain pre-roll advantage or issue pre-roll disadvantage on me, the DM, in almost any situation. So you have a voice in this campaign. So, when we last saw our merry band of adventurers, what sound is that? Anyway, when we last saw our merry band of adventurers, the party had just rekindled a relationship with Tiamat, finding out that she was on her way back. They'd aberrated back into the swamp around the body of a troll that they had to slay after returning from another plane where they recovered a woman who has been missing for some time, but for her it's only been a little bit of time. And they returned to find Rogelio on a horse-drawn cart, frantically looking for them, stating that he's been searching for them for at least 3 days and they mounted into the cart and were on their way back to the stronghold that has been getting worked on for quite some time. So we're going to pick up there because I think there's a lot for the party to share with each other to figure out what the fuck is going on. And there's a lot that Rogelio doesn't know. There's a bunch that Rogelio knows that the rest of the party doesn't know. So with that, players, feel free. Take it away.
So how's it been?
Good. Good.
It's good to see you again, my friend.
Well, it's good to see you as well.
How have you been?
I mean, it's been a bit, you know. I've been coming out here regularly checking for you guys for almost a 10-day now.
Is that really how long it's been?
That's how long it's been. Quite a bit has happened. I did manage to make contact with the lizard folk after we got separated. And they're intending to come pick up the children. But, yeah, it's been that woman. She's an interesting woman.
Ah.
I don't know if you got to know her very much.
Wasn't she supposed to marry one of Bronze, or not Bronze Mist, but
Nightbreeze.
Nightbreeze? Yeah, that guy. Wasn't she supposed to marry one of his sons?
Yes, she was in fact betrothed to one of the Nightbreeze's son. His name was Augustine.
That's
But,
still a thing, or is she single? What's going on with that?
Definitely not a thing anymore. If I remember correct, not long after she disappeared because she was studying something going on in the swamp. Basically, Augustine apparently enlisted in the army in Waterdeep, and there was a small skirmish. Sorry, what was that?
I said,
Yeah. There was apparently a small skirmish a few months ago, and Augustine is dead.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yes.
So she's single, is what I'm getting.
That's what I'm laying. That's what I'm laying down for you.
Seriously, for a point of clarity, you hearing this are reminded of the fact that there were some small battles with some trolls and orcs. A very new green detachment was sent out because nobody thought it was going to be a big deal. And one of the detachments was completely obliterated by a surprise ambush. There were 25 dead. And hearing the name Augustine Nightbreeze, you're kind of remembering that as a name that you may have seen on a roster. You never would have paired Nightbreeze's last name with this name until now. So you kind of recall this happening. It happened within the last year or so before you departed.
Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense then. I'm familiar with the skirmishes that you are referring to. And, well, I'll be saying some prayers to the Morning Lord on behalf of Augustine Nightbreeze for sure.
There was quite a scene when Avandra, she teleported me straight back to the tavern. She was not well received, needless to say.
Why not? She
I
didn't
think
do anything wrong.
She seems to be on all right terms with Nightbreeze now, though. It's mainly because she kind of stood him up at the altar.
Ah, classy.
I could see how that might get one's ire raised, but alas, wasn't her choice now, was it?
No, from what I understand, no. But, yeah. Quite the few days. What's been happening with All of you. You look worse for wear.
Well, we went for a nighttime walk. And some shit happened. Might have run into a big dragon that everyone's freaking out about. I don't know why.
What
A
big
dragon.
dragon?
The dragon. That was Tiamat.
What the fuck's a Tiamat?
Someone please explain that.
So this seems like your field of expertise.
Tiamat is sort of a goddess of sorts of all the evil dragons. The evil dragons, the dragons that are known by color: red, black, blue, white, green. And Tiamat is sort of their patron saint or goddess. And
Cool.
yeah,
What's the problem with that?
Not one to be trifled with.
Incredibly evil, incredibly powerful, and you had something there?
No, go ahead.
No.
I just wanted to ask the DM a point of order.
Sure.
Have the events of Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat happened in this universe?
Yes.
Or not? Okay. So that's like recent-ish history for us?
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious, that's all.
You're good.
So she's a big, scary dragon with a couple of heads.
Not understanding it. Severely.
Needless to
The
say,
stories I've heard.
based on what I remember, the last time things were going down with Tiamat, it was not looking good for a while.
But apparently she has bounced back, much to our dismay.
Yeah, that's quite,
It's one way to put it, anyway.
yeah.
I don't know, when we were chatting with her, she didn't seem so evil to me. A little cranky. But evil, it's a gray area.
Not entirely, no.
I mean, she
I
didn't tell us.
don't know. She seemed more. She very interested in we got there and how we intended on getting out.
Calder, your voice is really glitchy on my side.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty same.
He's cutting it really bad for me tonight, actually, and really badly pixelated.
This is very interesting. This is
It's
a lot.
The epitome of evil.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard her described as.
And if she's only coming across as cranky, there's probably a purpose behind her kindness.
I don't know, I've dealt with meaner people.
Well, you file that away for later. We'll see how it goes with Miss Tiamat.
Probably like any other like multi-headed woman, you just give her a couple drinks, tell her she's pretty, and then they're happy.
Well, I wouldn't know much about those things.
No!
What do you mean no? It's worked for me at least 80% of the time. At least.
His numbers don't sound too promising.
80%
And
doesn't
I'm
sound
not-
promising to you?
At least 80%.
I mean, I would take the shot at 80%.
Yeah, them's betting odds, my friend.
And also, then again, this is a dragon we're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
they. From what I hear, chromatic dragons have a bit of an ego that needs to be stroked a little bit better.
I mean, I don't know. I used to date a dragon. It wasn't.
Circe, give me a perception check, please.
That would be a 13 on the die. Let's get my...
Actually, you change that to a wisdom save.
Okay. That would be a 17, my friend.
Okay. You're able to slough off some of the effects, but back in the very back part of your midbrain, you feel a little poke. And in your ear, you hear one of the head's voices say, "You all looked delicious. I cannot wait to come back."
Oh my. You see the kind of the blood run out of Circe's face. So much that you could on a bronze dragonborn. Somehow she's in my mind.
In your mind, how?
I just heard her speak to me. She said something about us looking delicious and looking forward to returning.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
Not troubling at all, no.
Yes.
Did she demand anything from you, or?
She did not know, no.
Strange.
You see Circe kind of pull out his holy symbol to Lathander and kind of just stroke it and close his eyes.
Okay, hold on. So as you pull out your holy symbol, you instinctively look at your hand as you lower your head to close your eyes, and you are the first to notice that one of your bronze-scaled fingers has turned black.
Oh my. Look at that. No, it doesn't feel.
No,
does
it looks 100% like a black-scaled dragonborn.
That is troubling.
Let's cut it off.
Let's not.
Hadi's gonna take her cards, rub them on his finger, and just like sit down and start shuffling the cards and doing a deal and just mumbling to herself.
Okay. And as you close your eyes, you're able to begin your ritualistic prayer. There's no problems there. But you know how, like, when you close your eyes, sometimes you can see those little things moving across your eyes?
Yeah.
You see the stars that you saw before when you were on the plane with Tiamat. Not so much so that it's distracting, almost mesmerizing. So it's a new thing, but you're able to continue through your ritualistic prayer to the Dawn Father. Shit's about
so
to
you
get
see
weird,
Circe
folks.
just kind of completely disappear inside himself. Eyes are closed, heads down.
Roll me percentile die.
Oh, I hate when he says that.
And he said no dice.
Oh.
46.
46. You feel the same level of connection that you normally do. Nothing stronger, nothing weaker. It's pretty close to meeting average for you. So you feel as though your prayers are being heard.
Okay.
Okay.
Anywho, I think we have some more singular-headed fish to fry right about now.
Reminder: there's a bucket of fish in the cart.
I know, that's why Deluge is there. You said we had like a ton of people at our house waiting for us?
Oh yeah, they are. Looks like they've responded to that notice. That looks like they want to join up our band of whatever we are.
We need to come up with a name. Did we ever come up with a name? I forget.
Misadventures Glory?
Misfortune's Glory.
Glory.
Misfortune's Glory, yeah.
Hmm. We might want something a little more happy.
No, this suits
Oh,
you very well.
I don't know. Misfortune's Glory sounds on par. Sounds on brand for us.
You're
That's
right.
very
I don't want you to be right. Right.
I mean, there was also talk at one point about you guys calling yourselves well diving aficionados, but I think that was kind of killed.
Yeah.
Delusion's well diving services. Don't even need to supply the rope.
Because we're not going to use it anyway.
Who needs a rope?
Well, there's two ways we can play that name off as, you know, it could be Misfortune's Glory or Miss Fortune's Glory. So I think it should be fine.
I don't know. I think one look at us and you can kind of tell the context.
So,
Speak for yourself.
We'll say at this point that you guys can see you can start to see the roof of the stronghold off in the distance. You're a few moments away.
Excellent. So when will we be able to meet with all of these individuals?
I think the intent is, I mean, as long as everyone's ready, as soon as possible.
Okay. And do we really know what we're looking for in a retainer, or what we're gonna
Meat
do?
shield. Meat shield is good. Someone very disposable, with no next of kin.
I'm looking over at the rest of you, like looking back at Flint.
You mean deluge?
Sorry, Deluge. Wow. Been a while. Disposable. My goodness.
I don't think we want to put that in as our as
I think he's
pitch
right.
line
We don't
that we're
want
looking
to
for.
lead with
We might
that.
want to keep that. Yeah, not lead with that.
Well, duh, we're not gonna tell them that. You just casually slip it into conversation
Out-
about
out of the
family, next of
delusion.
kin.
Yeah, very fourth when it comes to things like that.
At this point, your cart crests over the final hill. For Rogelio, everything is fine. There's a bustle of activity. There's tents set up all over the yard. There are stonesmiths and carpenters hard at work. There's roofers. There's plumbers. There's like 3 or 4 people looking at the well. There's glass glazers that are putting in new windows. Doors have been rehung. The house has been painted. That maybe caused a problem. There we go. The siding has been rehung and repainted. There's even been some stained glass work done on some of the windows. Huh, interesting.
Wow. The house it's come a long way just in a 10-day.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out something really quick.
It sure has.
I like the way it used to be.
They fixed that one hole in that the second floor, the one bedroom there.
A lot of holes have been fixed.
I don't go in that room anymore.
As you guys pull up the cart, you can tell that there's been new there's new what do they call it, the places where you tie off the horses, those things.
Hitching posts?
Yeah, there's new hitching posts and stuff like that set up. There's new stepping blocks to come out of carriages and wagons that have been installed. The driveway, if you will, has been regraded and actually graveled. And as you pull up, Night Breeze opens the front doors, which open smoothly for the first time for you guys for for Rogelio, this is nothing new, right? But for you guys, the house looks completely different than the last time that you left.
Thanks, I hate it.
Like a lot of work has been done. A lot of work. And Nightbreeze has a kind of a stern smile looking at you as you guys dismount from the cart and begin to walk up. So, I see that you finally found them, Aurelio.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
it's about goddamn time.
They more likely found me. as they
Hey,
just haven't
Breezy, how's it going?
appeared.
Hi, Deluge.
Good to see you again, Mr. Nightbreeze.
We've had quite a few people looking for you for a while.
Yes, we had quite a time.
You met Tiamat.
Yeah, I know of Tiamat. Why? You met Tiamat?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
You
might have
found like a statue of
ourselves with
hers,
her.
or, you found a follower, an errant follower who's dumb enough to believe that there's still a hope. Or-
No.
No,
Like,
no.
No, we
Like
met the big
Tiamat
bitch herself.
Actual.
He kind of looks over at Rogelio. Were they eating any special mushrooms or something when you found them?
I didn't see any mushrooms, but seems. I mean, look at Circe's hand.
I'll show him my hand with the black finger.
He holds your hand and kind of inspects it. Kind of looks at you. Kind of looks back.
Doesn't look normal to me.
You might want to get that looked at.
Would I be able to use my divine sense to see if there's any?
You could certainly try. I don't see why not.
I could certainly try. Well, I've got one last slot before long rest, so I will poke that in the eye, and I'm gonna try to.
You're gonna stick your finger in your
See.
own eye. This is where Circe needs to
Yes.
re-roll the character.
Yes, I'm gonna. It says I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
Roll me percentile die.
64.
All right. This is where shit gets all even more crazier. So, you guys observe as Circe is like holding out his hand and he's focusing on it, and he's reciting some incantations. And quick check: black dragons are acid, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So while he's holding his hand out, this icky gray ray flies from the black finger, strikes a tree, and melts it with acid.
Oh shit, dude, don't
Oh,
pick your nose.
I'm like, my heavens.
To give you an idea,
that could be useful. you
to
know.
see the full damage on the tree, why don't you just go ahead and roll me 5 d10s?
Oh, okay then. Is 10, 17, 27.
All right. You cleave the tree that is nearest the house almost in twain. Branches fall off, and what leaves remained on the tree are now desiccated.
Don't point at.
Hasn't done that before. Was I able to determine, what set that off?
As a
or-
DM to a player, let me ask you a fun question. What do you know about wild magic?
Oh, not a lot.
Read up on it.
Yep.
Because it may or may not be a thing now.
Awesome.
Nice.
Will do.
But as far as you can sense, the finger is part of you. You recognize the scaling as your own. However, it is now, like I said, very reminiscent of a black dragon, no longer bronze. It does not appear to be infected. It does not appear to be under a spell. It's part of you. That's the best way to look at it.
Well, that does show something.
So Nightbreeze, in seeing this, decides, okay, we are going to have to talk about what happened. However, in order to continue the work, there's this new thing that we want to install on your property here. You guys are kind of the guinea pigs, but basically, instead of you guys having to go out to an outhouse, there's these things you sit on, and you're going to be able to add water by pulling a lever, and it will take it and remove it from your house for you. Also, you're not going to have to fill the basin every single day with water. It's pulling water and it's filtering it from the ocean because you guys have direct access from down below. And we've got a series of filters set up that are using some magical devices and some pressure, and we're pumping it into your house. So you're not going to have to fill the cistern every single day. But in order for this to get done, I need to figure out what the fuck to do with all these jackasses that want to become part of your group. Remember we said that you guys could expand your group into a small army?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
these are the people who answered the call.
Okay.
We have an allotment from the city. The city is going to fund them independently for the next 2 months. After that, the payments have to come out of your pocket. But that fund will only limit you to 13 people.
Okay.
So you guys are going to need to talk to them and interview them. Now I have a small gift for you that just got delivered this morning, right after Rogelio left, and it's going to be very useful for this, I think. And he says, "Come with me." And he walks into the house. You guys see that the tile has been completely redone. It's been refaced. It's still a compass. It now actually points in the true directions where it wasn't before. So slightly a little bit off kilter, but it's actually the real directions. So those of you that have true direction sense and things along those lines, you're able to stand in the center and realize that when you're facing north on that compass rose, you're facing north, and it's true. And there's like little tiny glass tiles indicating each direction, and it changes colors with like the seasons. So like north to east is like summer or spring, and then it goes summer, winter, and fall. So you have like some greens and some yellows, and then some oranges, and then some blues. And it's a gradient that goes all the way around. And it's really beautifully intricately done. The stairs have been completely repaired. The banister that somebody may or may not have fell through has been replaced. It's been redone. There's now a chandelier that hangs from the top floor down into the opening. It obviously should be able to provide adequate light. But he leads you through down to the library. And as he opens the door, now, Rogelio, last time you saw this, there was, the chairs and stuff like that sitting by the fire, and Nightbreeze was reading to the lizard folk children. What is now in that room is a huge, huge table, and it's got chairs for all of you around it. It's the symbols that you see on stream are engraved into the headrest of the wooden chairs for each of you. And the table itself has a coat of arms that says Misfortune's Glory on it. That's been engraved into the wood.
Nice.
And he says, I figure why not have a place where you guys can meet and plan, as well as maybe interview these jackasses and get them off your property so we can get this piping run.
This is magnificent. He's Circe is running his other hand, not the black finger hand, over the woodwork, examining the symbol. I just now noticed that on the stream. That is really cool.
Here's something interesting. Are you touching the table or the chair?
The chair.
Okay.
Where the
okay
insignia is.
Okay, that's fine. So Nightbreeze says, I've taken a list of names. I'm not usually one for clerical work, so I'm going to do my best. I figured alphabetical order is the best way to get these people in here. Do you guys want to get this started? I can get them up and running. I can get one of the camp cooks to get you guys some food in here, and we can get this party started.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
And he kind of, as he's walking, he stops on his heels and he turns around. By the way, you now have a fully stocked bar above the pantry.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I had a surplus. so I had to move it one way or another. It fell off
Do
the
we
back
get a
of a cart.
barmaid?
You may have to hire one.
Is Evandra free?
I don't want to talk about her right now. Evandra has gone to Troll Skull Keep in Waterdeep for the time being.
Ah, I see.
I fortunately still own part of that inn, and she's going to be able to stay there until I can figure out how to work through this problem with the rest of the city.
There's a problem?
Yeah, so I had a son. My wife and I, we named him Augustine after a dear friend, and he was betrothed to Evandria, and they were due to be married, and as the town sees it, she ran off, and she stood my son up, and I've long been a fixture in this community, and this, there was, the entire town was in attendance. It was going to be a celebration, two houses coming together to make something awesome, and when she didn't show up, we immediately dispatched search parties after search parties after search party, and during that time I watched my son slip down deeper and deeper into depression, and he informed me that against my own wishes that he had decided to enlist in the army that was growing up in Waterdeep, where I had recently come from before settling here, and he went off broken and depressed, and there was a battle that broke out, and I received word that Augustine didn't make it, and his body has been interred here, and is still really well cared for and really well visited. The town, above and beyond all, consider what Evandria did by standing him up as the reason that he died. Now, I've spoken with Evandria, and I've heard her stories, and she said that you guys had a huge part in getting her back. So once this is all said and done, and I want to hear from you what you experienced, so I know what to tell the town council and to try to smooth over the problem. But she is seeking refuge. She was going to just leave, and I gave her refuge at a place far enough away that she's within reach, but she's also out of harm.
Well, good, because it's not her fault. We saved her. It's if I was about to be run out of every town where I've stood someone up at the altar, I'd have nowhere to go. So she really, this shouldn't. It's just not fair. It's not.
I'd take his hand and kind of close my eyes and clasp my other hand over it. I'm truly sorry for your son, for your loss, and I've been praying to the Morning Lord since we found out from Rogelio what happened. And
I appreciate that.
I'm honored that he gave his life in service of the city of Waterdeep.
He was a good kid. He had a
Deeply troubling.
He had a bright future. But we'll talk more about that later. So, let me get these people ready and get them in here, and we'll begin. Okay? All right. So he departs within a few moments. A couple of cooks come in with trays. There's meats, there's ale, there's mead, there's wine, water, potatoes, the usual. There's a bucket of fresh fish that were just pulled out of the ocean this morning, and stuff along those lines. And you guys are able to sit down at the table and eat. Here's the neat thing. So as each of you sit down at the table, we'll just go around the horn. So we'll start with Calder and go around. I need a perception check. So Calder, give me a perception check, please.
All right. Perception +1. That would be a 17.
Okay. Deluge?
16.
Oddity.
1 sec. Sorry.
What was yours?
1 sec. I actually have to find her and open it. I have so many here now. I am really sorry. Can you?
I'll come back to you. Rogelio.
That's 18.
Cirrus.
17.
Oddity.
That is a 23.
Okay. All of
It's a
you rolled high
perception,
enough. Yeah. As you sit down, you kind of rub your hands on the table. And as each of you sit down, you realize that the table is warmer than you thought it would be for sitting even in this room. And Oddity, with the highest roll, you kind of close your eyes for a second, and you swear that you can feel a pulse in this table. And
Amy, bud.
once you're all sitting down and your hands are on the table, the Misfortune's Glory emblem in the center of it begins to pulsate with a little red glow as you're touching the table.
Extra.
Whoa, that is interesting. Definitely.
Nightbreeze kind of pokes his head in and says, just give it a minute. Trust me. He kind of stands there with his arms crossed.
How big is the table? Like, how wide?
It is, just to throw some generic numbers out there, 5 feet wide, 10 feet long.
So Oddity's tall enough that she can lean in and, like, touch it and feel it.
Yeah, your chair actually has a couple of steps to get up to your chair easier.
Yay!
After about 5 minutes, you all feel this, there's this, you know that, like a whoosh sound, right? Like the rush of wind. You all hear it, and you feel this pulse just kind of run up your hands, into your arms, up your shoulders, into your back, and all of you have the effects of a full rest.
Oh, nice.
This table is gonna come in such handy.
Nightbreeze kind of smiles and says, "It can do that once a day."
I like this table.
Goes,
This table is gonna
That's a
get
new one.
so much use. So much.
No,
Yeah,
What?
it
What?
takes all of you to be here. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, I'm not gonna have as much use for it as I thought.
He goes,
don't need people buttons off this thing.
if you're ready.
What do you think I'm gonna do with this table? I'm very shocked at you, Oddity. So lewd.
Really? Really? Considering that everything has come out of your fucking mouth since I met you? Really?
Wow. Where is this coming from?
You're rubbing off on me. Change the subject.
Nightbreeze says, if you guys are ready, I have an Anush who is ready to be seen. And
You'll
he-
see
Yep, go ahead.
Cirrus's face light up. Anush Kavujan, perhaps?
Because that's how you want to pronounce it. I might have to
Yes,
write
yes.
that down on my desk.
How exciting then. Bring him in. Show him in right away.
And
No?
with that, let us begin. So you walk through the entrance, the basic introductions. If you are role-playing the person being interviewed, you still have the opportunity to ask questions, so have fun with that. And take notes.
Okay. So you see this 6'3" tall, dark-haired, kind of salt and peppery, curly, dark hair, male. Looks to have maybe green eyes. He looks like he's a seafaring fellow. Cloak, the typical gear that you would see someone who spends a fair amount of time on a ship He's about 185 pounds, and he walks in. Ah, wicked to see you again. There he is, Circe's Bronzemist, the Noosh Kavushin. You remember me? And he offers my hand, and I step up. Ah, very good to see you, my old friend. My goodness, how have you been? Oh, it's wicked to see you. Can I have a seat here? I'm so excited to come in and talk to you guys about our opportunity here. And
Seeing
Circe,
everyone's
Circe just kind of looks around to watch reactions, knowing this guy's going to kind of, take over the room a little bit. And Anoush sits down. So beautiful, huh? God, beautiful place you got here. It's going to turn out great when it's all done. Wicked, beautiful place. Do some good fishing off the back here, eh? All right,
Yeah.
so fire away.
Dear God.
So, Anoush, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm. Well, I spent a lot of time down in their Khmer area there. Marsemba, really. But I sail a lot on the Sea of Fallen Stars down that way, and the Dragonmere. Yeah. But most recently, where I met Circe, my buddy over here, and he kind of slaps me on the back, and I grin at him. Met him in less than ideal circumstances. It's kind of a wicked situation there in Waterdeep, and I was in the company of the Dockmaster. Yeah, that guy. And anyway, Circe saw fit to help me out of that situation, and we've been good friends ever since. Yeah. Circe nods.
So, what do you carry on your person at any one moment?
Oh yeah, so like equipment-wise, you mean?
No, just money.
Oh, money. I'm okay. I do all right for myself. I sail a good bit, and I can do some fishing, catch a couple wicked tunas now and then. Yeah. So I do okay.
I'm looking for a specific dollar amount.
Why might that be?
It's me asking the questions here, Mr. Anoush.
Well, I got over 100 gold on me, I believe, and he's kind of patting himself, feeling in his inside of his cloak. Yeah, some silver,
All right.
a couple platinum in there too. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Duly noted.
He kind of looks around and looks at Deluge a little suspiciously and pulls his cloak.
How did he's got her glasses off and she's just kind of like.
So, what would you say your speciality is?
Yeah, so I'm a spellcaster, kind of a tricksy kind of guy. I like to deceive and can be kind of stealthy. I'm great with people. He kind of stops waiting to see your reaction.
Yeah, well,
I'm sold.
I spent a lot of time on, like I said, sailing, and so I'm great on deck. As far as that goes, I got some good skills there, and like I said, I can fish. I'm a wicked fisherman. Been through a wicked piss or two of a storm. I don't mind telling you. So yeah, that's probably my best skills, and I'm pretty handy with the and he kind of pulls out a couple of daggers and spins them and sets them on the table. You can tell they're nicely made, nothing out of the ordinary fancy, but you can tell he's very comfortable with the blades. And there's a mace hanging at his side. Yeah. So, I'm just kind of handy to have around in a pinch for a number of interesting reasons. And he kind of winks at Circe. And...
Yeah. Handy in a pinch is always good, but when the shit hits the ceiling, we need to know that you would have our backs in order for us to trust you.
Right.
Now, how have you had a lot of fighting experience outside of any wicked pissers on the docks of Waterdeep?
He looks into your eyes, Calder. Go ahead. I would roll maybe an insight. All of you are probably trying to get a feel for this guy.
I know everything I know already.
We've met.
So my insight would be 14.
Okay. You're probably just a little bit disturbed when you look in his eyes. You could tell this guy has seen some shit. You could tell he has faced some sort of, whether it's tragedy or horror, but there's a stony cold confidence in his gaze when he looks at you. I can tell you this much: Circe never wanted for any more companionship, assistance than when I was around. I had his back good, didn't I, buddy? And Circe nods. Well, yes, you are quite reliable. And if I remember correctly, my friend, I believe you owe me a little bit, don't you? And Anoush looks down and blushes. I was hoping you would remember that, because I feel like that could come in handy, as just so everybody knows. I do owe you. I owe you for getting me out of my pinch, and I'm a man of my word, as you've seen in our year or so together. So yeah, I got you back, absolutely.
All right, if Circe can vouch for you, then I'll definitely take that. I'll take that in consideration, because I definitely trust Circe in a fight with us, and so if he says you're a man to have our backs, then I can. That's all things considered.
I've seen Anoush in action, and he can heal, and he can hold his own in battle. But he is a tricky, clever fellow. He very charismatic, as you may have picked up on, but could be handy when it comes to negotiation and persuasion. And as I mentioned, he's a little troubled, but he's true and hot. And Anoush, I appreciate that, buddy. Kind of slaps Circe on the back. Seems a little inappropriate for what you would think Circe would appreciate. It seems to you that these two paired together are a little bit not maybe what you expected.
I am honestly dumbfounded.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
I mean it as one. I really do.
Well, great. Any other questions?
Are you a boob man or a butts man?
I'm a more of a tushy guy myself. Yeah. I like, I kind of, sometimes a lady's best attributes is when she's walking away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes.
Not that faces and eyes aren't beautiful, but there's just something about well, anyway. Is that one of them trap questions right there?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Very well. Very well.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Good wicked to meet you all, too. And he stands up, shakes everybody's hand. Yeah. So you have a good day. And he shows himself out.
Also, thank you, Weaseltoe, for the amazing 500 biddies. You gave them another dissonant whisper. Nightbreeze is standing at the door. He is just completely stone-faced. He opens the door, points Anoush out, and kind of raises his hand, waves in with a couple fingers. He says, "Next up is Beatrice Banner." Miss Misery.
What you see walk in is a tall, rail thin woman with purple hair. She's got a swagger, and she comes in, sits on in the chair, crosses her legs, sits there just kind of staring at everybody. And but she doesn't speak first.
Hello. Very intriguing hairstyle, must say. Do you dye, or is that somehow now?
Let's just say it took a little bit of magic.
But I suppose more appropriate question is, do you have next of kin line?
None that anybody needs to know about.
Evasive. I like it.
So, Beatrice, do you mind if we call you Beatrice?
I prefer B, but that's
Yeah, all right. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Gemini and I like long walks on the beach. And champagne and strawberries, but only if they're covered in chocolate. No, I'm good with the bow. I'm good at facilitating things. But
what sort of things you like to facilitate, B?
well, sometimes getting things from one place to another can be difficult. I kind of help grease the wheels in between.
All right.
I'm very good at finding hard to get things for the right price and the right buyers.
Yeah, well, I could see where that could be helpful, couldn't you?
Yes, it's definitely a useful trait, you know.
I love it. You see, now this is someone that knows what's up. But I do have one press. Could you see that gentleman over there, beard, asses? He's my buddy Calder, right? And one thing I want to know is, could you, with one punch, knock him out?
Oh, fuck.
And she stares at Calder for a minute, just looking him over like,
Got her. I'm
do I have to be in front of
staring her back.
Does it have to be face to face? Do I have to?
I just want to know if one punch can knock him out. I didn't say you had to play fair.
Yeah. I'm not playing fair, yeah.
Excellent. That's all the questions I...
You're definitely an interesting bunch.
Oh, you have no idea.
I'd say we're pretty normal.
Normal as normal can be.
It's a...
So. But, so B, so what experiences have you had in, let's say, going on assignments, quests, adventures, dungeon delving, well diving, sailing?
Been on a few boats, and I've shimmied down a well once. Only once. I won't be doing that again. But wherever you've been, I've been. I've
Well, there's-
my hands in everything.
There's a lesson well learned. I look over at Deluge.
You see Deluge frantically writing down the word shimmy.
Well, I'll be up front. If any jobs you all may send me on, don't send me to Waterdeep. I can't go back there for a little while. I met some friends. I made some bad friends. Let's just say I need to stay away from Waterdeep for a while.
Circe's eyebrow goes up. Waterdeep, you say? What was the nature of your trouble there?
I made some bad friends. Trusted people I shouldn't. You know, I took the blame for something I had nothing to do with in any way.
Nothing in any way, yeah. I see.
We've
Well,
all been there. I
good.
sympathize.
Fortune smiles upon you that you made it out of there. All right, then, because there are some rather swarthy individuals in Waterdeep.
Certainly, and considering the large raid that happened there just before I left by the Waterdavian, the guard, yeah, I think I'm very lucky. Especially, I didn't want to be catch the blame for something I didn't do.
Clearly didn't do, yes. Yeah, good thought there, getting out of town.
The entire time that she's been sitting there, and she's perfectly still otherwise, but she has her fingers on her right hand are constantly tapping. Everything else about her, she's perfectly still.
Alright. Bina, if you were to present you with an armory, and you had a pick of anything to fight with, what would your personal preference would be?
Preferably a crossbow, hand, or light. I prefer hand. You know, I'm a close person. I don't like being too far away. And I have a rapier. I can use it. Not my personal choice, but I can use it if I need to. I'm able to use a bow, but I've always been a crossbow type of girl.
And I may have missed it. Did you say you were a friend of Oddity?
No.
No.
I saw the notice in town.
Right then. Very well. Okay. My mistake. Good.
So,
Very good.
Anything else, anybody?
yeah.
All right, Night Breeze again says, Beatrice, thank you. And he motions for her to leave.
He hops up and walks up.
And he kind of gets a little bit closer to the door to make a little bit more room. He goes, up next is Bracken.
So you see a very, very tall half-orc. He has to duck his head to walk in the room. He's older. He's got shaggy, long, shaggy hair that's very salt and pepper. And he's got a long beard with a steel bead on the end, just braided down. And he'll walk over slowly and sit down in the chair and just kind of regard you all and say, "Nice to meet you. I'm Bracken."
Nice to meet you as well.
Well met, Bracken. So what brings you here? What interests do you have in our little operation here?
Decided to come out of retirement. I've spent some time in oh shit, I can't think of the word. When you go into like a church or something just for like a
Sanctuary?
not sanctuary. Retreat.
Sabbatical.
I've spent some time in a retreat for a while.
Ah,
I decided to get back out into the world. I didn't feel like going back into my former profession, so
very nice.
And,
seemed like
Oh.
interesting.
and what former profession was that?
I was a soldier with a regiment in Waterdeep.
Ah, what group were you with?
Fuck, I've forgotten. But basically, it's a regiment belonging to one of the lords of Waterdeep, one of the private militias.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, very well.
So he lists off. I was Sergeant Bracken within Lord's regiment.
Very well.
So, Bracken, may I call you Daddy?
Very few people call me Daddy, and I'm not gonna let you do that.
Duly noted. Have you ever killed somebody, and if so, how did it make?
Young lady, I was a soldier for most of my life, since I was 14. I've been in a battle or two, and I know I've taken lives. It's a part of the job. You deal with it as it comes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's giving you a very stern look, very much a dad look.
All right. Well, that's a little unsettling, but thank you.
Audie is going to perk up at him and say, shit, I forgot the question I was gonna ask myself. No, I haven't got kind of goes, never mind. And goes back to shuffling with her cards.
So you were a soldier,
Yes.
and you're still looking to go back out into something that might be potentially violent?
Well, when you do one thing your entire life, you get to be really good at it. And I can't say I'm much of one for pushing a broom. Yelling at someone until they do it. Different. I've trained people. Very good at whipping people into shape, but can't say I have much use of it myself. And I've tried the whole sitting in front of the house, whittling like an old man thing. It's just not for me. I'm assuming you know the feeling.
No, I've never been there, actually.
Am I the only one that stopped listening after good at whipping?
Deluge, I think you might be.
This is going to be a set of interviews.
He's just kind of staring at you, Deluge, with no emotion, just deadpan. No humor in what you're saying whatsoever.
Perfect.
Now, Bracken, with the nature of what we could potentially be doing here, water travel is going to be very much a possibility. As you can see, outside our house here, we got a very generous and gorgeous view of the ocean. And as if you peered down the cliff, you see we have our own dock. Now, how do you feel about traveling, sailing, and of the sorts?
Well, I'm a soldier, not a sailor, but I'm sure before long I can get my sea legs. Spent enough time on either on a horse or on the back of a wagon. I've been on enough wagons on a bad road, so I think I can survive on water, and I can swim.
Alright,
Not sure how I do if they're doing, bad water, but we'll see.
Sit. And anybody else have any other questions for her? So.
I think I'm good.
No, I'm utterly terrible.
All right. Nybri says, go ahead.
So Bracken's gonna stand up, again very tall, very straight back, but he's gonna lean over and shake everybody's hand, and they get a very firm handshake. The luge will, he grips a little tight there.
Kinky. Let's move on.
Nybri says, thank you, Bracken, and has him leave. He looks around and says, all right, next is Brant.
Alright, so you see Brant, he walks in. You see almost about 6 foot, fair skin, athletic tone build, as someone that would come from the northern regions that where Calder's from. Whereas Calder has a beard, Brant's clean shaven, blonde hair, like blue eyes as well, but you can definitely tell it's what's striking about him is the clean shaven, but he's still got the same style tattoos that Calder has. Calder stands up and he's like, Brent, I'm glad that the message got to you well. It's like, I'm glad to see you're here. He goes over, he does the forearm clasp, handshake with him, and he's and shows him to the seat. So everyone, this is Brent. This is Brent Colburn's son. I known him since he grew up in the village with me, and a very good fighter. He's very trustworthy, and I'm sure he will be able to answer any and all questions that you have for him.
Very well. Well, nice to meet you. My name is Sissus. Have you spent much time serving with Calder in whatever organization you all belong to?
I see Brant kind of he's not shifts too much, but he kind of sits there. He's like, yes, I was a reaver with Calder. We did go on many raids out into the neighboring villages and different islands and towns and city sides. So I have worked with him, and so it's a little. Sadly, I was not there when he was abandoned by his ship, by his crew, and so it's like I was dealing with some issues of my own at that time, and so. But I can just say it's Brant looks at Calder. He's like, everybody was concerned, mostly his parents, but as being with who the ship was captained by, we kind of had to keep that quiet, our concern for him quiet.
So what manner of creature, monster, whatever threat did you two have to face down? See, I don't know a lot about my Calder other than he's absolutely excellent in battle and highly trustworthy. But I'm just curious, what did you all have to face down in your time together?
Well, we faced down many of other humanoids. There was that one time we had a frost giant. I wasn't too happy that we were procuring gold and items from the village that he considered was his. So there was that we had to deal with. And so
you stole from people. Is what you're getting at. You steal shit.
Yeah, Calder never really covered that.
Well,
well, yeah, I believe you scored
ratings,
points with my friend Deluge right there on that. I do believe.
So,
I don't think so. I have a bit more moral ground.
He kind of wiggles his finger.
Calder is sitting at the table and he's now staring laser bolts into the side of Delicia's head from where he's sitting, and it's Brant continues on. It's I wouldn't say it's stealing. It's spoils of war. When you coming in and attacking, and so we were just claiming what we considered was our spoils of our loot for the battle that we had won. And the giant, and Brant starts speaking, says something to giant. So it's he thought otherwise. So.
Mm-hmm. So how many innocent people have you killed?
I have not killed any innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone you killed deserved death.
As we have seen it. And so as we go raiding or sailing, sometimes when it's going to be a matter of life and death between the decision. It's your life or theirs, and
well, of course. Yeah.
Now obviously, I'm still sitting here.
Very well, yes. See your point.
And I can just say I'm very good with a sword and shield, and I have fought with Calder behind many shield walls.
So why did you come all this way just for an opportunity to serve here?
Well, like I said, there's some stuff I'm working on, and Calder had sent a letter back to myself and our other friend who's here as well. And so we had owed it to Calder, and so we decided to come and proposition you all to take us up and helping you out.
I see.
And you kind of see, if you look at them carefully, you kind of see maybe a slight shimmer around him, and so is there anything else you folks would like to know?
No, not really.
I'm good.
How long have you been fighting? Or raiding, or whatever it is?
Well, where Calder and I grew up. It's part of our heritage and our way of life. So ever since I could old enough to hold a sword and swing it, and so
Interesting. Well, I don't have any other questions, really.
Not good.
All right, Night Breeze says, Brant, good to go.
Brant stands up, walks out. On his way out, like he puts his hand on and taps Calder's shoulder as he goes out.
And Night Breeze kind of looks down the hall, motions with his head. Goes up next is, I'm going to not be able to pronounce the name. Cesare?
Cesare.
Yeah, that name.
Nice.
You guys and these fucking names. I love it.
A man walks in, roughly the same age and complexion of Rogelio. He has a long beard with streaks of white in it, and he's kind of got salt and pepper hair all over the place. And he walks across and sits down and says, Rogelio, it's very good to see you, my friend. I've managed to pull together most of our old friends. But I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Cesare Vicario.
Nice to meet you. This is Brunsmith.
Well, a pleasure to meet you.
Calder Svensson.
So, what do you do? What is your vocation, my friend?
Well, I've been taking it easy for the past few years, but I used to sail quite a bit with Rogelio here.
Ah.
We have had our fair number of mix-ups in the past.
Did he nearly die several times with you as well? And I kind of wink over at Rogelio.
Not that I recall, but
Well, I'm sure
he
he'd
was
tell you
usually
about
behind me anyway, so...
that makes sense. I could see that.
How did he lean forward and look at Rogelio? It's like, are they all pensioners like you? She's not able to wink to Rogelio, but this is it. Whatever. Chess doesn't see it.
Of course.
It's like, how are you about second floors, buildings with 2 or more floors?
Well, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Duly noted.
Are you agile? Can you think if you start to go through a floor, can you stop yourself?
Very good question, Miss Oddity. Yeah.
Yeah, I likely could. I've saved myself from quite a few falls from up in the crow's nest before.
Got one thing up on Rogelio. Okay.
Very well.
Listen, he used to be a lot better back in his day. And Rogelio's just kind of sitting there like... So...
Oh, now Rogelio, you know, we're having some fun.
Of course, I know. Yes.
So what's your specialty, chess?
Well, I typically like to work in the front. I assume you're looking for people who can fight, or I don't think Rogelio would have asked me here. I'm a fighter, really, by trade. I've spent several years on the deck of a ship, defending that deck of that ship. I used to make runs back and forth between Waterdeep and Chult. I've made quite a lot of friends on those runs.
How fast have you been able to make the Kessel Run?
Not familiar with the Kessel Run.
Ah, I see. Well, I've heard it can be a taxing journey.
Likely.
How many years have you known Rohelia?
How old are you, Rogelio? I'd rather not say. Just if I had to guess, it's 20 years.
So, have you had any luck at smuggling things or moving items from place to place in a concealed manner?
Everything we did back in the day was all very above board.
Ah, of course, yes.
He smirks a little bit.
Very well. And I trust you're handy with the blade like our friend Rahil.
Yes, I am.
Did you come a great distance to be here with us?
Not particularly far.
Okay.
I was in the local area. I'm always looking for something new to do.
Interesting. So what, other than catching up with your friend Rahelia, what interest do you have in working with us?
The first one would be the money.
Yes, yes.
The second one would be the money.
Ah, very well.
I like that.
It's a language I believe we all can understand clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, I wanted to help my friend Rohelia.
Good man. I'll kind of lean over and slap Rahelia on the back.
Be careful, he's.
Which hand did you use?
Oh,
Yeah,
Rohelia's dead.
I had my finger up as I slapped him, Didn't...
If you use that hand, give me a strength attack, please. Melee attack.
6. Let me get my character sheet up. I'm looking at one.
My hip.
Yeah. Unarmed. Strength bonus. Bear with me. 9.
All right. Miss. Continue.
What the hell is going
on? Did you have any other questions for me? Because you have quite a line, and I don't want to waste any of your time.
I do not know.
Very well. It was a pleasure meeting you all.
You as well, sir.
He gives a little bit of a bow, and he walks out.
All right.
Before we send the next person in, can I just ask us a question?
Sure.
Did y'all just call up your old drinking buddies for this? Because almost everyone that's come in here seems to have known one of you.
Whoa.
Some of us
Yeah.
have friends.
I have friends. I would never ask them to do this shit.
Well, I would exactly ask my friends to do this
I think
shit.
this is a wonderful opportunity for the right individual.
My friends suck, man.
Apparently.
Evidently.
I don't know why you're laughing, Oddity. You are my friend.
Oh.
That was awesome. It was awesome. Well then, I suppose we should keep this line moving, like Cesare mentioned.
All right. With that, Nightbreeze kind of shaking his head a little, says, all right. Next up is Hetty.
You'll see a medium height, um, dark red brown hair, woman walk in covered with freckles. And she'll come in and she'll look at all of you, but her eyes stop on Oddity, and she makes a squeaking noise. And she turns her into a gray cat, jumps up over the table, and just launches herself into Oddity's arms.
Yep, you just all called you friends, and it was
Wow.
just a totally great idea.
And Oddity just
What?
puts the kind of cat and her head down and says,
What
"Oh my God, I missed you so
in the
much."
light of day just happened?
And the cat's
Circe is looking around.
cute shit.
This
He's-
is,
And Oddity will just kind of pick the cat, put her back on the table. You have to interview. It's okay, go on. And they pop back on the table, turn back into a human, and sit down in the chair. And you just kind of get like this very sweet vibe off of this person.
So let's go ahead and my name is Circe, by the way. Let's go ahead and just go get that out. What was that exactly?
Oh, I've known Oddity since I was 10 years old when she first came into the circus. My parents were in the circus as well. They're
The circus.
yeah.
I see. You in the circus?
I was. But after Oddity's father died, we went from being one of the best circuses in all of the Sword Coast. I mean, we were well respected. We were the performing group. But then we kind of went low rent after her father died, and I just felt there was places I would rather be.
I see. Well, okay. So, how did you do that?
Oh, the changing shape?
Yes.
Oh, well, my parents and myself, we are druids.
Oh, like those nature priests.
Yes.
Yes,
my
very
family
nice.
has always been more towards the moon, but yes,
Moon.
very much so. My mother, she trained with the elves in I'm forgetting names. She trained with elves, and she joined my father, who was a druid as well.
I see. The moon, you say?
Yeah.
Why not the sun?
So no, moonlight's always nicer. Isn't just moonlight was so much more romantic than sun, isn't it? In the sun, you see everyone's flaws.
Oh,
So true.
I hadn't really ever thought of it that way. I had nothing else really. He just kind of sits back and
So, Hetty,
Mm.
do you think, out of all of us at the table, who are you afraid of most? Based on appearances alone.
Well, and she'll give everybody a good look over. You look like you can chop me in half, but to be honest, I've known Oddity all her life. I've seen a few things she's capable of, and you should all be afraid of her. But you look at her face and like to that, you kind of see that she's joking.
Mm-hmm.
fear is something I've never felt
Insight.
around Oddity.
Roll it.
Curiosity a number of times, but fear never.
Oh, you've never seen her when she throws a temper tantrum.
Oh no, yeah, I've seen that, I'm sure.
She was well, like I said, I've known her since she was a baby. I was 10 when she came, and oh, she could throw a tantrum. Oh,
So, no. Hmm.
So, Hetty, you and Oddity are close?
Yes, I helped raise her. Well, the whole circus kind of raised her, but I was there when she learned how to walk. And I at the time my dad turned himself into a dog, and she held onto his side, and they all just watched. She just held on, holding on to him. I when her father was busy in the ring, because he was the ringmaster. He was big and loud, and oh my god, he was such an interesting man. But I would watch Oddity because my parents would be performing as well, and I was too young to perform myself, so I kept an eye on Oddity with Granny.
Well, aren't you just the sweetest little thing?
I guess I don't. Nothing really gets me down.
I see.
Well, that's to be commended. I like that.
Can I ask what brought you here?
Oh, Oddity wrote me a letter. We have, well, I've been in Baldur's Gate since I left the circus off and on. So I managed to track Oddity down and get a few words to her. I mean, she is Miss Oddity Price. She is a fortune teller of great power. So I was able to track her down. I got a letter to her, and then she wrote me and told me that you were looking for people, looking for support. And well, I figured I'm used to working in a circus and all the things that come with that. It's definitely an interesting life and an interesting bunch of people. So I figured, why not be an adventurer? If Oddity can do it, I certainly can.
Uh-huh.
That's a
Have you
good
done
way to think of it.
much adventuring?
No. But living in a circus and dealing with bandits and drunk patrons and people who get a little too handsy with our dancers and all kinds of people, you get used to that when you work in a circus. And I'm used to manual labor. I can I help put up the tents, and well, a cat isn't the only thing I can turn into. People tend to behave when you see a very large tiger running at people. They you surprise how well they get. Well,
A large tiger, you say?
Oh.
how well they behave when are.
So, Hetty,
Yes.
have you ever killed anyone, Hetty?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
Hetty.
We've had quite a few brawls. We've when I was with the circus, we moved through a few bad towns. There were a couple of good fights where people never really. Well, there was a few people that didn't always make it, and I was in the middle of it.
Hetty, I'm gonna stop you right there, sweetie. It's a simple yes or no question. Have you killed anyone?
She does like to talk, doesn't she? Yeah. I like that.
Silence is kind of boring. It's always good when you're talking, and if you're talking, you communicate with people, and you make friends.
Yeah.
My God.
I don't know who's sitting next to me at the table, but I look over who's ever sitting next to me. I'm like, I see why Oddity is so quiet now. There's no way for her to speak when she was growing up.
Nothing. She wouldn't need to talk much.
Yeah. I don't think she could have fit a word in or two if she could.
If you go by the thingy, I'm between Delusion and Rogelio, so just elbows both of you.
Ow.
That's gonna bruise.
But do you use Circe's finger to do the elbowing?
No. Come here and pull my finger.
Oh, God.
I will have you know that Hetty is a good person, and I trust her with my life. I've seen her take down more angry, drunk men than anybody else in this thing. She would always be the person to go in and calm down the crowds. She just has this way with people. And I don't have it, but not many people do. She is literal sunshine or moonlight, and
Oh,
She can.
you
come.
had me. You had me. And you lost me.
And Ali just kind of sits back down and just kind of keeps grinning at Hetty, knowing all too well what she's like.
All right. Well, this has been pleasant. Anyone other questions for Miss Hetty?
So, Hetty. It has been a great pleasure. Don't call us, we'll call you. I'm sure we'll be in touch in one way or another.
And Hetty will get up and shake everybody's hand, but she'll also come around the table and give Audie a great big bear hug around their neck, and Audie's just gonna like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm an adult. Walk away. I'm an adult. I want to embarrass you in front of my friends.
Oh, Mom, my friends are watching.
And she'll just kind of like bounce out of the room and give a happy wave before she goes out through the door.
Right then.
Night Breeze then says, next up is If.
Is what?
What?
If.
Oh dear. Is that really a name?
You tell me.
So, what you see enter the room, you hear scratching coming across the floor. Talons are what enter the room first. And a very strange bearded vulture man comes in, and his head is just bobbing from side to side. And he just sort of eyes all of you very strangely.
Hello there, sir.
Yeah.
What did you say your name was?
If.
If as in
Well, welcome.
As-
Have a seat.
I will stand, thank you. Chairs do not like my wings very much.
I'll kind of look around him. See. So what do you do? What brings you here, If?
Well, I was wandering through the marshes, and something strange was stuck to my foot. And I found a piece of paper. Said y'all were looking for someone. I'm good at finding bodies. Can I help?
Well, that's quite random.
Yes, someone must have seen it and thought it was trash.
And clearly it's not.
Clearly, very good piece of paper. Let me hear. So many interesting smells.
So, you're good at finding body.
Yes, they smell very bad. I can smell them from miles.
Oh. Right.
Do you frequently look for dead bodies?
No, mostly I make them.
okay.
How do you do that, sir?
Oh, well, I have many means to make dead bodies. Life is very fragile, as I'm sure you know. I have crossbow, axes, javelins, spike traps, rope, lots of rope. Things neck snap very easy with rope.
Yes.
Where are you from, Eve? Eve?
If you please.
You're welcome, all of you. You're welcome.
Where are you from?
I travel mostly from places that don't have names anymore. Dead names, lost names. I go where the rotting flesh takes me, if you will.
If
Yes.
what do you like to eat? Even Oddity is kind of put off by this person.
Oh, bones mostly.
No.
You know that last person we had in here?
On food.
You know that last person we had in here a moment ago?
Eddie?
So much different
Hey,
from that last person.
definitely. Like,
I have
night-
to
night
say
and
that
day.
the range of candidates has been overwhelming. So, do you have a tribe or a group you're from, a family?
No, not anymore.
Let me guess. You killed them and ate them.
No, why would I do that? They're family.
I just a hunch.
No. Family, very well-to-do, rich folk. They don't talk to If very much. Send
Oh.
money sometimes.
I see. Why is that?
Well, it may surprise, but I am what they call a black sheep of the family.
Uh, please do tell.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to marry to back. They didn't take too kindly. Lot of family turmoil.
Drama. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wife tried to
Family
eat
drama.
mother. It was very awkward.
Yeah. That I bet the wedding reception was very interesting.
I could see that being an issue.
I'm just trying to figure out in what capacity we would use your skills.
Oh, I'm an excellent tracker. I'm very good at.
Well, dead
Well-
bodies don't move quickly.
No, I make things dead. Believe I meant it. You should listen better.
Right. Yes, yeah. I've been told that. That's fair.
How have you done much adventuring other than the killing part? You know,
Oh yes, lots of adventuring, different parties hire for things. Had a strange adventure in the fall this year. Ended up in a place called Barovia. Not a fun
Ah.
place.
Not heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard of that place. That's what was this place like?
Lots of things that are dead and do not stay dead. I did not like it very much.
Oh, no. I would not like that either.
Oddity is gonna lean
Yeah.
over to Rogelio and just go, I think he's a serial killer. And just kind of has this kind of like very glass, very like, please don't kill me. Smile.
If I may be, with all due respect and politeness, what manner of creature are you? I'm not familiar.
Oh yes, Aerocock.
I've never seen a creature like you.
Yes.
Red plumage is very, very becoming to you.
It's dark, isn't it?
Yes, it's from the bone marrow. I'm usually white.
Is it stained, or does it just change color from diet?
It's, well, mostly stained. Bone marrow, hard to get out of bone. Have to use a lot of tools.
I see. Well,
If I could ask a question,
Please go right ahead.
By
Why-
all means, by all means.
your strange friend there, she appears to be crying. Is she okay? And you just look at Deluge, who is, I mean, uncontrollably trying so hard not to laugh.
She's fine.
she's prone to fits now and then.
I
she's dealing with some things. And,
She fell down a well once and
Oh,
since
I've
you know,
I've
the
been
accident.
there. It is very dangerous. Well, yes.
Yeah,
I've heard that shimmying is good.
that's a thing we've recently discovered. Yes.
Yes.
What even is happening right now?
I can tell you're on the fence. I am unusual. He does finger quotes with his talons, and they're very long talons. But what you might think is, why we work with you, you probably can. I won't. Because I tell you, I'm loyal, I am discreet, and I also make good distraction and trap.
Right, I could see that.
Alright.
Your last adventuring party, the people you went to Barovia with, how were they?
Oh, they're fine. I haven't seen them in a while. We kind of went our separate ways. A small cat person had many things to do. I think they were a serial killer, to be quite honest.
A small cat person?
Yes, very small tabaxi. Very unusual.
Different from the one you were marrying, though.
Yes. I'm divorced, by the way. Did not work out. Should have seen it coming.
Right.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. It happens. Marriage is difficult.
Well, I must say, I'm at a loss for questions. I have nothing further to ask, really. I'm certainly pleased to make your acquaintance.
Yes, and about your crying friend who is giggling incessantly, I highly recommend lobotomizing. I feel like that would fix so many problems.
You know, she's right. Or if it's right.
Let me get that
It'll
down.
really do some good things.
Well, I will see myself out then because I feel like you are all very... Have a lovely day.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
Just more talons scraping across the floor.
Oh god, we're all gonna die. He's gonna eat.
I just look at the others like, what's happening right now?
We're
Nightbreeze-
hiring him, right?
Nightbreeze kind of nods and says, "Just wait, it gets better." I'd like to ask Jell to come into the room, please.
so, are the doors into this room like a double door, or is it just
Yeah,
like a
double door.
Okay. So Jell starts slowly walking in. He's taller than 6. He's super tall for a turtle. He is. I'm gonna have to minimize this chat. I won't be able to bear it.
The chat is ridiculous.
He's covered in scars, and there's like scrapes all over his shell and everything. And he slowly makes his way into the room. He doesn't his head poking out doesn't completely fit in the doorway, but he just kind of shrinks his head into his shell a little bit. As he crosses the threshold, head pops back out. He doesn't sit down, he just kind of sits there. And he's like, "So, what's the pay?"
Pays to be determined yet. So Gel,
Jell.
is it? So how'd you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you heard about this business opportunity?
I came with a mutual acquaintance.
Did you come with the
Okay.
Roadman?
I did not come with the Birdman. That guy was weird.
Right.
Yes, I know Cesare. And your friend Rogelio here.
Come on.
So what do you do, Joe?
Well, I kind of a boat guy. Spend a lot of time on the water.
I can see that.
What was your role on the boat?
Primarily, I was the cook.
Oh, cool.
Do you even need a boat, though?
I personally don't need a boat, no. But
Okay.
the people I worked with happened to need a boat. I mean, have you seen Rogelio?
Sadly.
Yes,
He
yes.
can barely make it downstairs.
Oh, he's perfectly fine making it downstairs
Coming back.
to lower floors. He can make it to lower floors very easily.
Very efficiently, yes.
Just kind of bypass it.
So you
Sometimes that's what
cook,
you have to do.
because I don't think we're hiring any kitchen staff. What else can you do, Joe?
Oh, I do more than that. And you see that he just walked in. He's carrying a trident that he just kind of uses also as like half of a walking stick. And you see kind of around his shoulder, he has a large tome that looks beat to all hell, like it's been through hell and back. I do a little spell casting.
Ah, what manner of spellcasting do you?
The arcane nature.
Ah.
Is there any particular school of spellcasting that you study in?
Well, most of my spell casting has been focused on fighting. So you could say I spent quite a bit of time dealing in war magic.
Ah, very well.
All right.
Could see that coming in handy.
Yeah.
Hey, we have definitely have a couple. We have some spellcasters here as well. You know, so it's always you're definitely
I can tell.
in good company here. So
Yep.
so it's so how did you come to meet Rogelio?
Well, I was originally already on the ship when he started serving on it. He was pretty young back then. I don't know what happened to him.
He got older.
Yeah, town's a bitch.
That's pretty obvious.
So,
Tell, what did you mean when you said you could tell there was other spellcasters here?
I got the eye for it.
Oh, yeah? Who's the spellcaster then?
You can do some. And so can she.
You make that sound like an insult.
It's not an insult.
Or do you just make everything sound like an insult?
Sorry.
Oh, hell yeah, he's mean.
She's mean.
What?
You'd have no idea, but yeah, she's a she.
What would you say is your
Exact same voice that I'm doing as well.
What would you say is your best quality? Why would we look to engage your services?
I'm very sturdy.
I see.
Is that it?
I'm
And
reliable.
war magic.
I could make an okay stew.
Could you?
I could. I have. Family recipe.
People do.
No, I don't eat people. Not often.
Of course, we're worried about the rest of our candidates.
Oh my goodness.
People really aren't my thing.
Oh, that's good to hear. I don't know if I have any other questions. Anyone else did?
No. Nope.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe. It was a pleasure to meet you.
She slowly turns around, slowly makes her way out of the room.
A wink at deluge, huh?
I'm desperate. I'm not that desperate.
I mean, she's almost seafood.
Wow.
Sniper says, next up is LaGrace.
You hear someone desperately trying to reach for the doorknob.
Sniper opens the door.
Fucking doors. Hello. She waddles
Okay.
up.
Hello there.
Very short. I think she's about like 2 feet tall.
Ah, welcome.
Do I have to get on the chair? It's a bit high.
I could come around and help you if you'd like.
No. You touch me, I'll end you.
You can
Fair
stay.
enough.
You can stay standing however you wish, please.
Fair enough. That's fine. with me. Wish to invade your space. So, how do you say your first name?
The Grace.
Just like it's spelled here. Very good. All right.
Yes. Phonetically.
So what do you do, LaGrace?
Well, it may come as a surprise to you, but I'm actually a pugilist.
Yeah.
What's that?
I beat people up for a living, dear.
Oh, we
You
have a lot of
typically,
that.
and this is the without weapons type of beating people up.
Oh yes, just me fist.
Would you punch that guy over there? Pointing to Calder.
Oh, absolutely, without hesitation.
I'm assuming you'd go for the knees.
Oh no. I bring them down to me and then I punch him right in the fucking face.
I like her.
So, Miss LaGrace, what's your background? Are you a military pugilist? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I come from all parts, you know. Greyhawk mostly. I kind of ended up here under odd circumstances. I was fighting in a bar. A hole in the floor opened up, and then I ended up here.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Greyhawk before in my life.
Yeah, I believe it comes from a different plane of existence, dear.
Yeah, you'll have that. Let's see.
Have
That'll
you
do
heard
it
of
to
a
you.
place? Have you heard of a place called Barovia? We had somebody here that had been to Barovia. Is that in any way relation to Greyhawk?
Oh, feck no, I've never heard of it.
All right. So, how'd you come by this our meeting here? Did you receive a letter? Did you see the notice we had around town? Do you
Oh.
know anybody here?
Well, actually, my good friend Deluge sent me a letter. And you see Deluge putting her head
Did she now?
putting her head down.
We didn't even know Deluge had friends.
That's an interesting thing.
Oh yeah, she's a bitch, ain't she?
You should perhaps tell us a little bit more about how you come to know Miss Deluge.
Well, I'm sure she hasn't mentioned me.
She hasn't.
No, she does that. I'm actually her first wife.
Deluge has had wives?
As in
Yes.
multiple wives?
Well, as far as I feckin' know, she sleeps with everyone.
Well, that certainly checks out.
That's
Yeah.
that sounds like Deluge.
Deluge is just slinking down in her chair, just saying,
Why,
sorry, I'm sorry.
Deluge, you never told us you were married, honey.
Yeah, she doesn't fucking talk about me. Kind of the reason why I divorced her, although it's not legally binding, so I guess we're still technically married.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so okay. I think we could accommodate marriage.
Yeah.
Could set you up if you do come to work with us. I think we can. It would only be proper to have you in the same room as your betrothed.
I want to note it. We don't have a window. We don't have a widow's fund. You don't get any of that. It comes back to us.
That's perfectly fine. I don't want any of my shit to go to Deluge.
Fair enough.
Well,
You seem to be on such good terms with Deluge. Why would you want to come in this company here where you might have to work with her closely?
It's a long and complicated story. But I owe her one. And this is the one.
well, I just bet there's a story behind that.
There really isn't.
Except for a long and complicated one.
If
Not one that I'm gonna share with random strangers. I just
No, that's completely understandable.
No, totally. Not
Understandable.
not necessary.
if we hire you, will you make her life a living hell?
Oh, I can almost guarantee it.
All those in favor? I do believe we have our first candidate hired.
Whoa, hey, no, what, guys? Come on. We were both drunk, and it was weird. Okay, it was really fucking weird.
I think I've heard everything I need to hear.
I think we have a very strong head runner here for our first candidate. So.
Look, I sent the letter as a joke. I didn't think she would actually respond.
Who is it that has the highest passive perception?
I should have a pretty good one. Okay.
Somebody's sitting on 15, right?
Mine's a 14. I got a 14.
Anybody got that as well?
Hold
I
on a
have.
I've got a 14.
I have a 14.
Yeah, 14.
Okay.
Hold on, my thing's loading. I need to check.
We'll say all those of you that have 14 or above, you kind of look over as you guys are saying, you know, who else is... Night Breeze even raises his hand.
Oh, well, I didn't expect such a positive review.
Do you know who we should invite? We should introduce you to the nice girl that works down the Night Brief's tavern.
Oh, why? Is she single?
Oh, Ilsa.
Yes.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Oh, she'll be here tomorrow to help out with the kitchen stuff.
Fascinating.
Lovely.
Ah.
I feel like this is Deluge related.
Yes.
Do y'all just fucking hate her or something?
No.
Sometimes.
Just a rare kind of love.
I'm gonna kill all of you in your sleep. All of you.
You or if.
Ah, this is going well, I think.
You put yourself in this situation, Deluge.
But the fact of the matter is, don't you want to know any of my credentials when it comes to fighting?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we would. Please do
Please.
tell. Give
What's
us,
the biggest thing you've slain?
That's a tough one. Probably Deluge's second wife.
Please tell me this is right.
Yes, please.
Oh, well, you see, she thought it'd be awfully funny to marry a dragon, steal all her gold, and then leave her hot for.
Yeah,
But then that bitch called me fat, so I killed her.
So
let me get this straight. You beat up a dragon.
Oh, yes. Well, I also have axes.
Well, was this dragon? Were they in their dragon form, or were they masquerading around as in
It was a
a humanoid.
big fucking dragon.
So I take it they
What?
were in their true form then.
I think so.
What type of dragon was it?
Well, when I was done with her, she was red.
But what did she start out as?
What
I
color
don't know.
was she before?
I'm not sure. I was seeing red.
All right.
I'm gonna assume red. Maybe.
Sorry.
Goodness.
I'm just gonna lean forward and look at Deluge. How many fucking times have you been married?
You muted.
I really don't.
Deluge, did you send a letter to every one of your exes?
I don't have that much paper, Calder.
How about just your ex people you've married?
I don't have that much paper, Calder.
My goodness.
Well, I did not know I could throw my voice.
So, is this a legitimate offering for the job, or are y'all just fucking with Deluge?
No, we are legitimate looking for
Yes.
people to expand our to bring into our group of adventuring and other business inquiries, and we are definitely can say you are potentially on a short list. And I do not mean that
that's just fucking it there. You're
I
making
do not-
short jokes now.
I do not mean that in any. Let's just say you're.
You ever been headbutted in the balls there?
I've had my fair share of low blows, and I'm gonna see myself out of this conversation.
Yes, you should probably fucking stop digging that hole.
I think I speak for the entire group when I say we're quite serious about retaining your services.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely. I look forward to making Deluge's life as interesting as possible.
And we look forward to funding that operation. Yes, we will be in touch for sure.
Y'all have a lovely.
Taste of women.
You know what?
One.
She did in the beginning. I believe her taste has changed. And she just shoots an icy stare at Deluge before walking out and struggling to reach the door again.
Nightbreeze cracks this big smile. Well, that was interesting.
Deluge.
I
You
love
guys-
so much.
You know, I do too.
I think I see management potential in her.
Well, we'll have to figure that all out once we get them all hired. We have 9 individuals left. Up next is Milchrist.
So you see enter a slight built man, probably early 40s, shaved bald, very dark toned skin, wearing robes with the very present holy symbol of Lathander hanging around his neck. And he walks in without saying a word and smiles at Circe and sits. Greetings, Melchrist Edenton, priest of Lathander. I'm here for the interview.
Oh, welcome, Melchus.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit. About yourself. How did you come about hearing about this?
Yes. Well, we keep a connections with members of our church through the Order of the Aster. Perhaps you've heard of that's the Order of Paladins in Waterdeep. Pray to the Morning Lord. And I was made aware of this opportunity through that organization. And I wish to ply my trade.
And,
Come here and be in service.
And what trade would that be, sir?
Well, I'm a priest, of course, and surely you could use additional help with faith and healing and understanding the darkness and the light.
Healing? Definitely could
Yes.
certainly use more healing.
Yes, of course.
So,
Kind of strokes his goatee.
you said the Morning Lord. So I take it you know our friend Circe here then.
Yes, indeed. Circe was instrumental in helping guide me through a crisis of faith, I believe you might call it. I struggled as a young acolyte, and Circe has an unwavering, childlike faith in the Morning Lord, and it really, he helped me simplify my worship and my devotion. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And just when I heard he was here and heard there was an opportunity, thought it might be a good opportunity for me to get out and get away from the city and see what I could make of myself.
All right. And have you gone on many adventures? Dungeon delving, sailing.
The last
Raiding.
several years, I've spent time in Waterdeep, Temple of Thander, serving as a priest there. But yes, I've done my fair share of traipsing about, both above and below ground. Well, I'm not necessarily someone you might rely upon in a combat situation. I do wield some strong healing magics, and I can also create a weapon of a spiritual divine nature and bring that into combat with me.
Yeah. Oh. Well, as we've all been aware of and all have had experiences, sometimes combat can be very asymmetric, and you can definitely tackle it from different approaches. And so, no skills are not necessarily unused in combat. And so, but how do you feel about sailing, open water?
Living in Waterdeep, I've not actually, but I would welcome the opportunity. I actually gained passage to Saltmarsh aboard a small ship, and found the trip to be interesting and enlightening. The sunrise across the water, and he just kind of you could see this calm wash over him. As never seen the sunrise until I saw it aboard ship. It's a wonderful way to experience the blessings and the closeness of our Morning Lord Lathander. So yes, yes, sailing is certainly something I'd be interested in. Yes.
You're so calming after everything we've dealt with today.
Oh well. I hope that's good.
I assume you're not the type to panic in a dicey situation.
No. Panic doesn't serve anyone well, really. Even when the best laid plans go awry, I've found it to be of the utmost importance to remain calm and thoughtful. Consider one's options and choose wisely. I may not be the most exciting, entertaining soul you'll encounter, but you'll find me unwavering and faithful.
You have my vote just because you're not fucking crazy.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a good thing to know. I don't come off as an insane person.
So, how long have you been were you in Waterdeep?
I've been in the Waterdavian Temple of Lathander for 11 years. In fact, I started my journey with the Morning Lord in the temple, serving the Order of the Axe. I've always been drawn to the paladins and the oath and the depth of their faith. And that's what really drew me to young Circus here, with his unquestioning, unwavering faith in the Morning Lord.
Just curious, what do you know of Tiamat?
Certainly nothing firsthand. Of the legends and the stories. I know, obviously, she's if she is a thing that exists, she's pure evil. But I have faith that if you're hinting at the possibility of us or me encountering her, that the strength and light of the Morning Lord would see me to the appropriate end.
One question, and I realize now I should have asked everyone that has come through that knew one of us. Do you have any embarrassing stories about Circe?
Oh, well, Circe just kind of looks down. I'm sure, given the right amount of mead and time, I could probably call something to mind.
Excellent.
Yes, I've known his parents for a good long time as well, so they're a very upstanding family in Waterdeep.
To be honest, we don't know a whole lot about Circe. It'd be wonderful to have someone on like that knows him well.
Well, I could certainly speak to that. I've been present for his entire religious upbringing and his entry into the Order of the Aster. I've helped him with his theology classes and studies, and so, as ironic as it seems, he, even with my age being more than twice his, he helped me greatly help restore my faith when it was shaken.
Any other questions? Rogelio, did you have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
Well, Brother Melchrist, it is certainly good to see you again. And I'm sure we have some fireside stories. We could come to some agreement about those, I'm sure. Melchrist just kind of nods and smirks a little bit, kind of cracks a smile. He's half elven, by the way. Male.
All right. With that, as Milchrist leaves, Nightbreeze motions out and says, up next is Morn.
This is Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah, she's struggling with her.
All right, we'll
interwebs.
skip over hers for now. When she gets back, we'll jump in with hers. He goes, oh, correction. It's Ragnall.
You hear blustery, kind of the bang and clank of metal. Take your hands off me, I can find my... And you see this very heft, round, sturdy mountain dwarf enter, less than 5 feet tall by a handful of inches. Very, very dark hair braided down into his armor. Very, very ruddy, weathered looking. Ragnall McMulligan, at your service. Good to see you all. Circe. And he nods and plumps down. Circe and I city watch together in Waterdeep, and he told me about the opportunity, and I wish to avail myself a chance to come work with you. So what can I tell you?
You said City Watch?
Yes. He's got a pair of hand axes and a longsword strapped to his back, chainmail. Looks to be a fairly stout, So yes, we did a year to Water Davian City Watch.
And why are you looking to take up with this company?
Yes, well, I've had my fill of city. Just wish to get out and about. Coughs a little bit. Into some fresher air. And it was against my better judgment, but I sailed here with the priest. Fine chap. Doesn't say much. But I've had an aversion to sailing, and well, we worked through that a bit. And so I just really am looking for a change of pace.
You're aware that there's a solid chance that there'll be quite a bit of water involved with what we do.
Yeah, and he kind of looks down at his chainmail. I presume I'll need to find a different way to protect myself, something more buoyant.
Yeah, more buoyant would probably suit you.
Yeah, that's doable. We could make that work. Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to. I'm a hell of a fight in a pinch, and I'll always have your back. I may not be much to look at, but I could use the coin, and Circe and I get along pretty good, don't we, buddy? He kind of nods. It's very good to see you, Ragnar. I honestly didn't think you'd make the trip up here. Proud of you for getting on that ship. Say no more.
Since you know Circe, gonna echo a question Miss Oddity has asked previous other interviewees. Do you have any embarrassing stories about Circe?
Well, he has a thing for tieflings. And Circe, I don't know if bronze dragon scales would show blushing, but he just McMulligan, we said, listen, we agreed, and he just holds up his gauntleted hand. Never mind, a brother never tells. but tiefling.
Did not see that one coming.
And Circe is just shaking his head, almost in disbelief, looking at McMulligan.
I wasn't expecting to hear that.
Well, we were surprised too. But, they were cute together for it. I mean, it didn't last. Well, when you're both in the city watch, they frown. But for a first go around, it was pretty. Circe is just like.
No self, tell no secrets.
I believe we've heard everything we need to hear from Mr. McMulligan. Am I right?
Yes, of
and he
course.
kind of gives the room a very severe look.
I don't think we've heard from Deluge.
You know, I just would love to sit and chat with you sometime, but I can't think of a single question to ask except what was her name?
If you could find me some dwarven ale, we might have ourselves an evening, young lass.
Oh my, I feel like you have misinterpreted.
No, don't flatter yourself.
Oh, wow, okay, now I'm just offended.
I really like this guy.
But yeah, we could have a fun evening trading tales. And he kind of looks over at Circe again and smirks. Yeah.
So, aside from being a very good fighter. Is there any other skills that you bring to the table?
Well, I can fight with two weapons really well. And I got this way of just, I don't know, it's like, how to describe it? It's like almost like a second wind. I just, I can push myself beyond that of others. And I also have an eye for the finer things, such as gems and jewelry. And his face almost flushes when he says it. I'm consider myself a bit of a jeweler, a gem expert.
My God. Sir, if I wasn't already married to several different women, I think I'd propose to you right now.
He looks over at Circe like you caught him like you walked into the bathroom on him or something. He's kind of right. Yes. And I'm all right in a bit of stone laying, of course. You probably figured that already, but and some smithy work. But I really, really, really like to cut gems and appraise things, and yeah. So have I got the job or what?
We will keep you advised of our deliberations.
That sounds like no. But I can take it.
It's
Not
not
a
a
no.
no. It's
I can
not
take
a
it.
no.
Not a problem.
We have a slew of other candidates that we have to go through, and being equal opportunity employers here, we want to give everybody their fair share of
Yes.
interviews and consideration.
I met a few of them out when we were waiting. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
We will be taking all the good luck that we can.
Don't take the short one too lightly. And you notice he's got a bit of like he's been punched in the mouth. Don't take her too lightly.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
Very well then. Well, I'll be on my way then. Circe, it's good to see you, brother. He doesn't even look. He's just like. Very well then. Yes, Ragnar. Very well.
As a note to the players, we're going to bounce around a little bit, just so that way Shannon doesn't have to do 3 back to back. And because I think it would be thematically appropriate, Nightbreeze says, poetry, would you please come forward?
I'm so glad. So, in comes this really tall, slender tiefling. And the first thing you notice about her isn't her interesting skin, which is patchwork in vitiligo. It's the fact that her horns, curved forward like a bull, have been drilled through, and rosary beads are laced throughout, hanging sort of just for aesthetic, maybe? You're not sure. She's dressed in very plain robes, and just comes in, bows before sitting.
I'd like to make a perception check.
What are you looking for?
8. Holy symbol. Sign of faith.
You find nothing. Just very plain beads of different colors, but no sort of symbol hanging from her horns. And just very plain monk-like clothes.
Circe's face flushes. Stays flushed? Was flushed? Is not less flushed?
Welcome. Your poetry, is it correct?
Yes, that is the name I have chosen for myself.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you come to hear about our this business opportunity?
Well, believe it or not, I have not seen any of your flyers. I merely followed the crowd. I heard whispers on the wind of some interesting business opportunities, and I'm no fool to pass that up.
Alright, so what do you bring to the table, Poetry?
Well, I am. I don't know how to phrase this in a way that will not alarm you, but I, from birth, have been ordained as a weapon of extreme chaos and death.
Sorry, weapon of extreme chaos and death?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially.
Let me just write that down real quick.
Yeah, so how have you refined this weapon of extreme chaos and death in your life? How have you gone about utilizing and honing it?
Well, I've lived in the monastery since I was born. The lower levels of the monastery. Perfecting the art of the way of the long death, as it.
Well, Circe has to clear his throat. What monastery are you referring to?
I am not permitted to speak its name, I'm afraid.
Oh. All right. How old does this tiefling appear to be?
Probably legal.
He looks
You're welcome.
She is fairly young looking, but it seems rather deceptively so.
Dang.
She looks as though she's in her early 30s, if that makes it very clear for you.
So, Poetry. So, what experiences do you have in adventuring, dungeon delving, ocean sailing, fighting?
Well, I've traveled very far on a boat, and they've made use of me on the ship. I can handle the rigging quite well. I usually spent most of my time up in the crow's nest. I have a keen eye for things. Once I left the monastery, I've been traveling various groups. Small odds and ends just to make coin. But something tells me something bigger is happening here. I've had visions, you see.
You have visions?
Yes, strange dreams. I try not to put too much stock in them, but yours interest me, Rogelio.
Mine specifically?
No, your group.
Oh.
All I've seen from you is you falling through a floor?
That's happened.
100% true.
It's strange, you keep falling. You never stop falling.
Well, if you stop falling, you'll have to get up again.
It's funny, my cards say the same thing.
Yes, and you, Oddity, are very strange. In a good way. I'm sorry if that... I don't have great people skills. That might have come off as very rude. I apologize.
What what do you see in in me?
You? I haven't seen much of you.
Right.
Caller
That could
under
be
his breath
arranged.
says, I was gonna say, caller under his breath says to whoever he's sitting next to, yeah.
Let's see. Visions. And
Deluge perks up though, is just like, so you single? Pardon me, I don't see how that's relevant to the job posting.
Yes, I don't see at all how that's relevant, Deluge.
Yes, it's very relevant because unfortunately we do not have a Wooders fund here, so we just want to make sure that you're aware that there's no Wooders fund in case you do leave somebody behind. So
Ah, yes.
the question is very relevant. So
Yes.
No, I meant it because my one friend is really into tieflings.
Calder's just like face palms as he tried to recover the conversation, but
So
utterly
yeah.
failed.
Yeah.
I won't say who he is, but he's in this room.
Side note to the group, we might have to develop a sexual harassment policy.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's probably true. We probably should get one. That should be like a first order business we get to.
Is there a window we could open? Yeah. My heavens, it's warm.
If I could just ask, Audit has died yet? Deluge, I mean. Were your predictions right? I'm sorry, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Right. Sorry.
Not really. She's gotten herself very close a few times.
Yes, I see that happening a lot. I think you'll be right at least once.
Oh,
At
I
least.
know I'll be right. 3
Oh,
times.
I'm sorry, it's just the dreams say just once.
Now, my cards said it'd be 3 times, so it will be 3 times.
Well, I would surely trust the cards more than I would trust mere dreams.
Yes.
Anybody have any other questions?
I don't have
for her?
anything. Nothing at all from me. Nope.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Poetry.
Thank you for your time, Poetry.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Whether you hire me into this militia of yours, I know we will be seeing each other again. Have a good day. And she just quietly leaves.
Good day.
Good
I
day.
don't like her. I don't want her hired. I don't like her. She can get off our property.
Well, let's just wait till we see everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Make our decisions. Carefully choose.
You do better.
Nightbreeze motions and calls for silence to come forward.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were being that loud, Nightbreeze. I thought everything's keeping
Oh,
You're
trust
in
me.
a-
There's so many weird names. It's just what it is.
this is a name. Okay, all right. And so,
You'll see a older, like, graying, if she could gray.
Rogelio aged.
Brilliant come through the room. She's a very pale blue. Her hair is white. Her eyes are, far as you can tell, are white. She is wearing something very like a nun's habit. And again, she's an older woman. She just comes over and sits down in her chair and looks at all of you expectantly.
Well, good day, ma'am. Welcome. So what brings you to our little job interview?
Well, it is common with the older members of my order. I am one of the Silent Sisters of the Seven Sons. And,
7 sons.
not the thing in the sky.
Oh, okay.
As in fathers and sons. We come from a long line of very holy people and the sisters and the daughters of those warriors formed their own order of cleric, and I'm part of their order and their I can't think of the right word anymore, but the word nunnery is coming to my head, and I know it's not the right one. But I'm from their order.
I think it's convent.
Convent, thank you. And I'm a member of their order, and I live in their convent. But it's older. It's the norm with the older sisters before they become an abbess or a senior member. That we have a pilgrimage. And I have been on the road for the past year, and I saw this notice on the board in town, and it called to me, so I decided to come up and visit.
It called to you.
Yeah.
So you're still out adventuring, pilgrimaging?
Yeah.
What do you do on these pilgrimages?
Oh, well, it's believed that we need to see everything that the world offers, so we often volunteer in various groups. Some of us enlist, and some of us well, go down some very unsavory roads. One of our sisters I believe, she's dead almost 50 years now. One of our former abbots, can't say the word, but one of our former nuns, she was actually a member of the Black Masks in Waterdeep before she returned to the convent. And she was very famous. You might have heard of her in Waterdeep's history, but she was quite the thief. And, she came back and she became a full-fledged member of the order and one of our senior members, our senior sisters. And, I'm very good with healing, so I was either going to enlist with a local regiment, or I was going to do this, and this spoke to me. I know I can help.
Yes, I see. Healing is always very important. How do you do with combat?
Oh, well, to be honest, I've never really been in combat before, but I'm certainly, if you give me a stick, I can hit someone with it.
Excellent.
And I'm very strong. We do manual labor at the convent. We have to lift rocks every day. We're very big on physical health and things like that. Oh.
Yes. I see. So this for you would be a opportunity to serve and learn about the world.
Yes.
I see.
I will admit it. We're very remote. We occasionally don't have sisters come back because it's the real section of the world. So it happens.
I see.
But most of us are devoted to praying for a certain family and to make sure that their line stays strong and they're able to do more good in the world as well.
I see.
I'm a member of a cult.
Yeah, I have a religion check floating in chat. Just curious to...
I messaged you about it.
Oh, direct message. Okay, very nice. Pay attention. Well,
That's why I answered Wiley.
Because, how do you feel about dangerous mission work?
It's all a part of what I was meant to do. If I come into violence, then I come into violence. But I do believe my calling is to heal people. But if I need to harm someone to heal someone, I will.
I see.
If someone's doing something bad to a person that I am responsible for, or a member of my group, then of course I would hurt that person to help the other one. Of course, it's all part of a moral judgment.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can get behind that for sure. Of course. Well, I mean, I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? Called it deluge?
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
I see.
Very well.
That's all I got.
It's
It's very lovely to meet you. Silence.
Well, The sisters and I, we all go by silence. We give up our names when we join the order or when we are born into the order. So, thank you.
Yes, very well. Okay.
She looks very uncomfortable for a second, and then gets up and leaves.
I think we all are.
Nightbreeze comes in and says, I'm going to have one more solo candidate, and then we're going to, in essence of time, because we have meals getting ready, you guys will be facing the final 4 candidates all at the same time. So prepare yourself. Up next, going with the theme, we have quiet.
And a huge tabaxi Maine Coon bursts into the room. He's got a dad bod, ring on every finger, and he's like, "Hello, friends! It is good to see you all."
Hello, Mr. Quill. Is it?
Oh, yes, everyone calls me Quill. The Quiet Quill is sort of my sect likes us to be a bit more silent. I basically work in a huge library. It's a little, obnoxious, but hello.
Yes, please have a seat. Tell.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Oh, sorry. Just have a seat and tell us about yourself, Mr. Quill.
Well, you see, I am a cartographer of sorts. I've been sent from the main monastery in Chult to gather maps of the world and bring it back to our great and glorious god Ogma.
Are you a member of a cult?
No, not at all. Pretty chill, I'd say. They let us out whenever we want. Not that they could stop me if they tried.
I think we already had a cultist was in here earlier.
Yeah. The crazy broad, the blue one, Icy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's light a few coins now, if you know what I mean, but
Yeah, okay. So what do you do exactly, Mr. Quill, besides make maps and hang out in libraries?
Well, I travel. I try to see the world and experience the joys that it has to bring me.
Another tour?
Not so much. It's just why stay cooped up in a library when the true knowledge lies beyond its walls?
Very true point.
It's very wise indeed. What do you do combat? Do you fight? What skills do you bring us?
Yes, as part of my training in the sect, I have mastered the way of the club and the I'm excellent with a club.
I didn't know clubs had ways.
Yeah, well, you bash something hard enough and it's gonna stay dead, you know what I mean?
I do indeed.
We do indeed. We certainly do know that. So it's to have in your travels. Have you done much dungeon diving, adventuring, sailing?
Oh yeah. Me and water don't get along too well, but I have gotten past that. You know, it's hard to avoid. I've sort of been a bodyguard for some rich hoity-toity assholes every once in a while. Not a whole lot of lucrative business there. I tend to find my own way. You send me off on a job, it's gonna get done.
That's good to know. Yeah, good to know. What are the specialty besides holding battle cartography? What are the skills do you have?
Well, if you need something, I can get it. I know pretty much everyone in every city. Or at least one person. I make friends. Lucrative friends.
That's a good skill.
Always good to have. It's always good to have friends in all sorts of different places.
Yeah. I like to consider myself a small business owner. And it pays to have connections, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do.
Nothing untoward, of course.
Of course not.
Yep, never been in prison, that's for sure.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, you can go right on ahead and try.
I rolled another 18. What's my thingy? So that would be a 23. Wait, no. That'll be 19.
You don't know anything. As far as you are concerned, I am 100% truthful. I mean, I've never been in prison. I've had a few friends. They just go down the wrong path, you know. Agma can't save everybody.
Has any of us heard of that particular god?
I'm actually kind of familiar with it.
Yeah, Agma is a god of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Libraries are sects all over the globe, actually.
I said that out of character.
I don't have any other
Mr.
questions.
Quiet Quill. Let's see here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my look? Right. Is this one serious? Is she serious?
Unfortunately.
Quite serious, yes.
You're a bit too feminine for my liking, miss.
Still huge.
Yeah, the water lady.
As a. I don't have anything else I need to know.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And can I do an insight check as, or a perception, I guess, as Quiet Quill? Is anyone wearing rings?
I think Circe would have a signet ring with the Order of the Aster on it, the insignia.
Quill's gonna make a big show of shaking everyone's hand that has a ring on it.
Oh, Jesus.
What am I rolling? Perception?
I mean, you can if you think something untoward is happening.
Yeah, I'll shake your hand.
Yeah. He shakes your hand quite vigorously. It's just like, it's a real pleasure meeting some non-humanoid folks. I was really worried this would be a real,
Yes.
It just makes me feel a tad bit at home. And then he moves. What did you roll for perception?
17.
Okay. And then he goes over to Oddity. He's just like, well, miss, I wanted to say you were a little quiet, but I can tell you're a real charmer, and I can't wait to get to know you. And he shakes your hand.
Okay. I'm going to say that Oddity would probably pay attention to this a little bit because she is from a circus and they're shady ass people.
You can roll with advantage, I don't mind.
You okay with that?
Yeah, you roll with advantage. You go right on ahead.
What is with this dice and 18s? Give me 1 second, I need to open Oddity back up because I'm doubting myself with my characters now. Because I've been looking at so many different ones tonight. Jesus Christ, where is Oddity? Oh, here she is. So that is a... Ooh, that's a 23. For one. And... Fuck, I wish nat 20s would count. And a 25. So 23 and 25.
Okie doke. And did Rogelio roll anything for his wedding ring?
I think he stepped away.
Oh, he posted something in chat.
No, I didn't see.
I don't think he's rolled.
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to. And he leaves. And Rogelio, you are missing a ring. And Circes, you are missing a ring.
I'm gonna call down the hall. Someone needs to stop that tabaxi.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something like, watch your hands, watch your rings.
Yes, clever. Clever.
And, what?
Very well done, Mr. Quill. I'll holler down. Very well done.
He's gone.
Nice.
But is anybody ever really gone?
No, yeah, he's gone. He peaced.
There's ways of finding.
Rogelio, are you in a place that you can
That
play your
was-
character? You can respond in chat if you need to. Okay, no worries. All right. So Nightbreeze comes in and says, "Wait, did Rogelio have one left?"
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Says, I keep looking for one. They seem to have stepped away. However, we are going to call in Morn. Who do we have left? Where's my message? So many
Sigrid,
for that too.
Sana, and Valana.
Yeah, we're gonna call this one. I had to scroll all the way up because of all those gifts. Yeah, so we're gonna call in Morn, Valina, and Sigrid.
Alright, so
All three at the same time.
alright, so you see, I guess you'll see
Oh, and I didn't see
Sigrid
this one
walk-
either at the very end. So Yaz. Oh no, Yasmin will be later. Go ahead.
Alright, so I guess as you calling everybody in, you call Sigrid as she walks in with everybody else. You see a very tall, not very tall, but tall, like 6 foot, blonde hair, again, very Nordic looking woman. Viking, very Viking style tattoos along her arm. You notice she has a very similar hammer tattoo on her right hand, very similar to what Calder has on his. And she walks in. Calder stands up, gives her a big hug, and says, "Everyone, this is Sigrid. She, as well as Brant, have come from my village. They've sent a letter, and they've seems like they were the only ones who decided to come. And Sigrid, she is a very good fighter and very devout friend and colleague.
Ah, very well. Nice to meet you, Sigrid. Welcome.
It's nice to meet you all."
I only have one question. Do you have any embarrassing stories about Calder?
Oh, she chuckles. "Oh yes, I do. I have quite a few. We grew up together, and there's that one time we were horsing around, and let's just say he slipped into a pile of horse shit.
Oh, I
first.
like you. I like you already.
And
Yeah, I
so-
like her. We could use her.
and so she smiles, she laughs, and it's like, but yeah, we can go out drinking, and can definitely regale you all with some tales about
Ah.
Calder.
So what is it that you do, Miss Sigrid?
I'm a cleric, but I'm
Ah.
not that kind of cleric. It's basically where I come from, Calder. It's I I pray to Thor, and so Thor has graciously provided his power and his wisdom to us, and so you kind of see a little bit of. She starts to somewhat cast like some of her lightning spells. You just see a little bit of crackling of lightning around her hands.
Goodness. Well,
She has a warhammer on her side and a very like a Viking wooden shield, and on it you see a stylized motif of Thor's hammer. And so
let's see. Well, I'm not very well versed in Thor, but that was impressive.
And so it's yes, he's graced a few of us with some of his powers, and so, but like I said, I'm not that kind of cleric, but I've been known to I can help with healing and guiding people on their ways to Valhalla and hell, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. And you've traveled extensively with Calder.
I've not traveled in his sailing adventures. I've mostly stayed in the villages and helped provide the defense against other creatures and never-do-wellers that would try to attack us.
Yes, yes. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's certainly part of the bargain, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you knock out Calder?
Oh, he wouldn't want to admit that, but we have sparred a few times, and I would say we are 50-50, even though I would say we're probably 70-30 in who's best at each. So
Interesting. Wow, very good.
Nice.
I'm in favor of anybody that can kick Calder's ass.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Calder is like, you guys know I'm right here at the table if you know.
Oh, we
Oh,
don't care.
And we love
Quite
you, don't worry.
well aware, yes.
We can't replace you.
So. And Sigurd says to Calder, it's like, don't worry, Calder. It's like, we all know it's like you and I are even 50-50. So,
Wow.
any other
Someone-
questions?
So someone has
okay.
entered the room as like just sort of towering over Sigrid, just standing behind her, waiting her turn, awkwardly standing close as a huge orc woman with a bear pelt, cape, and tribal paint all over her. Just quietly standing.
Welcome. Please
Yes.
have a seat.
I will stand, thank you.
You may stand. Oh, what,
Sigrid just shuffles over out of the way and stands in the corner.
what brings you here, Morn? Is it Morn?
Yes, more.
Well,
I hear you want fighting. You need fighting. I'm good at fighting.
what type of fighting do you do, Morn?
The kind that ends in my opponent being bloodily murdered.
I see. Oh, that's
So basically, you're in your element when we point you at someone, and you destroy them.
Point me at a tree, point me at a wall, point me at an army of orcs. I will kill them all.
what. I see you have tattooed tribal. I'm assuming these are tribal markings. Where do you come?
I come from the mountain. High up in the mountain.
A particular mountain?
I do not know what names you have for them.
I see. What sort of weapon is she carrying? Any?
You notice on her back she has a great sword, and she has on her hip a great axe as if it were a hand axe just hanging there.
Yeah. Man. See. So why did you come here from the mountain to
I
the
come-
sea?
I've come to bring honor to my family and my tribe. You need fight, I can fight. I do not need your coin, do not need your lodgings. Point me where you need me to go, and I will be there.
So you're saying you would do this for free?
Yes, I do this for honor. I do not need coin.
I understand.
What are your interests? What do you do for fun?
I collect flowers.
I love and I will protect him with my life.
I also enjoyed beekeeping for a small period of time. It did not end well.
I like bees.
Beekeeping can be a bit of a challenge. I hear.
That just became available in 1.15.
Yes. A bear came and
Okay.
destroyed my hives. I now wear his hide on my back.
Okay. Just gonna ask how you came about that bear pelt.
He made a horrible mistake.
Question asked and answered.
We can definitely see that he did. He crossed the wrong beekeeper. So. So now,
I
Yeah,
have no other questions, really.
if you were to have area, would you restart beekeeping again?
Perhaps.
If we could have provide that there be definitely no bears in the area.
You cannot guarantee that bears are very smart.
That they are. Some say some might be smarter than the average bear. So. But
Is that a reference?
just a saying that goes around this area.
See. Deluge raises her hand. Yes, small, fragile one. Are you married?
Oh, Deluge.
Yes. Oh, he's a lucky guy. He was. Oh, wow. Well, that just brought a Debbie Downer on this whole thing there, Morn. Why do they call you Morn anyway? Parents named me. Why do they call you what they call you? I had, jeez, alright. Fucking buzzkill. So, do you have next of kin at all? No. My tribe has left to... They've left.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It happens. She's just standing there staring down, specifically Rogelio.
Rogelio doesn't have any comment.
I haven't. No further questions for Ms. Moan.
I have questions for you.
Please ask. Please ask.
You, and she points at Oddity. Can you handle yourself in a fight?
Yes. I've proven very useful before, even when completely paralyzed.
That's
Impressive.
very true. We can. I think we could all around the table here vouch for that.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, she scares the crap out of me.
Oddity is you can hear Oddity just go, and a bee comes up and crawls out around her neck, and just takes off towards Morn. It just kind of flies around him.
You see, as like she stares at you stone-faced, a single tear rolled down her cheek.
You're not the only one that likes bees.
I like you, small one. That other one, that old man, He looks fragile.
You would think so, but he's gritty.
He bounced
He's great.
back really well.
He's gritty. Yeah, you can fall and you can certainly take a fall and get back up from it.
Yeah. Well, if you can keep up with me in battle, then I will join your cause.
No, we will certainly take that into consideration. So unfortunately we only have limited amount of spots, so we're trying to provide equal opportunity. So we have a couple other candidates to interview, and we will let you. We will come to a decision as to who makes it.
She just grunts and walks out of the room.
Very nice.
How did that go?
Valana, the leader.
All right. Valana is just kind of leaning back against the wall behind and just kind of watching everybody. And she says, watches more and walk out of the room. Oh, she's a charmer. And Val looks like she's a Shatter Kai elf. So her skin is parchment white. And she's got pitch black hair that's really long. And she's got right here shaved, just one side. And she's got tricheritis tattooed going down across her head like this. Just kind of up and down, up and down. And she's in black leathers, and she looks like your stereotypical rogue. I'm Vel. You had a job available.
Yes, we do. Welcome. So what interests you in coming to work with us? He kind of plays around with where his room will be.
Yeah, I saw that cat heading down towards the town. He looked rather happy with himself. I'm assuming you're missing something.
Yeah. We'll straighten that out later. So what brings you to us? What interests you in our work?
Well, I'm normally based out of Neverwinter. But I decided to move on, see some new sights, some fresher waters. So I hit the road, and my wanderings brought me here. But I left Neverwinter about 15 years ago. I've been a scout since then. You get your rich nobles that want to pretend to be an adventurer and wander around in some nasty woods, or a profitable one is when they want to go to the Underdeep, Underdark. Sorry, that was me.
You've been to the Underdark?
A few times. Like I said, you get your rich nobles that want to be, big bad adventurers, and we're have some dealings that they don't want to be that well known. Hard to take them underground, if you know.
Interesting.
Okay. Vel, may I call you mistress?
You gotta pay for that honor.
Duly noted. Are you aware you look like a dominatrix?
Yeah, it works for me.
I can respect that. But more to the point, question, what is your weapon of choice?
I am really good with a longbow.
Nice.
Very accurate, and I'm good with a rapier. Close quarter fighting, and I'm good with daggers as well.
I presume you're good at not being seen when you do not wish to be seen.
I'm very good at not being seen, and I'm very good at not being in the same place you saw me twice.
Interesting.
But if you need things opened, chests, doors, guts, I'm your girl.
And you're elvish?
Yes, I'm a Shatter Kai. We're not common around here, I understand.
Yeah, what is that?
I kind of stand out a bit.
But not in a bad way.
My people are... I remember the thing about Shatter Kai. I think we're based out of the Shadowfell. I haven't been around my people much, to be honest. You left when I was a kid.
I don't mean to be rude or inquire where don't belong, but just curious. Never seen an elf.
Yeah, we're distinct. Shadowkind is distinct, but yeah, my people come from Shadowfell and or wherever that is at a character. And
You travel alone then these last 15 years?
mostly, like I said, if people needed a guide or someone to check something out for them. That was me. I never really stuck around anywhere for very long. I get bored and like to ramble.
I see. How long would you be interested in sticking around here?
As long as I keep getting gold.
Kidding.
As a paycheck, I'll stay anywhere. I get bored. I usually get bored when the gold runs out. But as long as you got the gold, I'll be the best person on your team.
Definitely think what we have coming up will definitely keep a lot of people interested. So, there's always in adventuring. There's always never a short supply of gold, and so
You sound like my group of people then. Great name, by the way. Misfortune's Glory. I saw the sign up front. Nice.
Ah, yes. Interesting. Well, any other? I mean, you certainly haven't. You haven't.
You cut out there, Wiley.
I said you certainly have a unique scene today.
Thank you. Well, if that's it, I'm gonna head out and wouldn't mind seeing a few bottles of ale, you know. And all of a sudden, you see her. I have to look this up. I'm sorry. She's going to teleport behind you and just offer her hand to shake it. To all of you, basically. She'll teleport to behind you and just going to walk down the line and shake your hands before leaving.
Since I have no ring, I'll shake her hand.
Deluge is actually going to get up and be like, let me show you to our open bar.
Excellent. And she'll follow her out.
All right.
Nightbreeze walks in and says, all right, so we have two candidates left. One seems to have gotten rather drunk. And she's asleep. But she came from the city. She's got a pretty she's got a little bit about her, you know. Her name is Yasmin. I've heard of her before, but she knows a lot. And the last one is kind of pissed off. So let's get her on in here. Her name is Sena. And when he says Sena, you guys all notice that Rogelio kind of, oh fuck. And in walks in this half elf. She's got darkened, very athletic build. She's tall. She's felt. She's got black leather with black chainmail. And she walks in and she sees Rogelio and she goes, "You motherfucker." And Rogelio's just like, "God damn it." And she just walks up to the table. She pulls out a scroll and she slams it down on the table. She goes, "It's been a long fucking day. Didn't expect to see this old bastard. Here's my resume." And she turns around to walk out. As she gets close to the door, she goes, "If you need somebody to vouch for me," she just flings her hand. As she flings her hand, two daggers come flying out, and they pin right next to Rogelio's head on the back of his chair. She goes, "He can speak for me." And she walks out. And Nightbreeze is kind of standing there going, okay. So, you guys...
She has any children.
And Rogelio's like, it's fucking complicated, guys. It's really fucking complicated. And Nightbreeze says, okay, guys, so the town council has allotted you the payment and funding, as well as building housing for 13 retainers. These retainers will need to be hired by you. We will be using a secret ballot, i.e., check Discord in just a moment. And once you make your decision, it is final, and we will ask the other ones to leave. Make your decisions, and we will get everybody sorted by supper time. So, let me do this. Boom. With that, we are going to end this evening of interviews for the retainers for Misfortune's Glory. You guys have anything you want to shout out before we send them off on a raid?
I'm here.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out, chat.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
All right, we will send you guys on a raid. Keep following on Twitter or join the Misfortune's Glory Discord to get updated for when we'll be live again. Hopefully it is soon. With that, I will send you guys on a raid. Much love. See you all again real soon.